Alright, what's up? This has been a short little while. Okay, and I mean, one of the reasons taking so long for me to put another video out was, well, the patch hit, and I hated just about everything in it. That lasted me about a week before I had the itch to play some more tanks, and this was one of the first nights I had. So here I am, I'm in my M4A3 E8, or just simply put the Easy A. I'm platooned up with a couple other guys from the clan, Bitwise and uh, Harumpman Buddha. I'm pretty sure that was completely butchered. Sorry, man. So, we were just running around and I was having me a bit of a shit time. Actually, this was one of the first couple nights since the patch, and I was trying out a couple of different tanks. And I just kept trying to run my Easy 8, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but something was missing on my Easy 8. Now, according to all the things Wargaming put out, because I may not have been playing it, but I was definitely looking at the response to the patch, any bugs coming up in the patch, and what load of shit did Wargaming decide to deliver in the patch. And according to Wargaming, all the equipment you had currently on the tank would go ahead and, like if it was on a lower tier, it would just get friggin' maxed out to the highest priced one. So I think that works for 8s, 9s, and 10s now. Because why go ahead and keep paying 200 for a gun runner when we can charge you 600 across everything? So equipment like vertical stabilizer that used to be on the Easy 8 went ahead and got upgraded to be the Tier 8 versions. And according to Wargaming, it was supposed to go ahead and just continue to work. You could go ahead and demount the no longer matching equipment for free, and you just can't put it back on. You'll have to buy a brand new set. So I was playing several games in my Easy 8 here, and like I said, something just felt like it was missing. This tank is quite amazing at just pulling off shots that are just completely utter bullshit. I mean, crest running over the top of the hill on Prokhorovka, seeing a guy on the other side of the trains, and just look in his general direction and snap the shot off. We're not even aiming. We are not stopping. We're going across full speed across the top of the hill. Gun complete 90-degree right, fire, and hit the guy. So this is what the Easy does. You just aim in the general direction. The I like to call it the Shermans are basically just as accurate on the move as they are sitting still. Sadly, they're not that accurate sitting still, but they can pull off shots that are just complete and utter bullshit. So here's the battle. After about a night or two of just being completely friggin' frustrated and gone about 4 games with my Easy 8 without changing out the equipment. And again, I mean, in one way, it makes sense. You need to change out the equipment. On the other way, Wargaming said I didn't have to. And all the mismatched equipment would just end up being completely demounted next patch anyway. So, but as I was playing, something wasn't feeling right. So I went ahead and dropped the equipment I had before and put in the now correct equipment, and here we go. I've already got my Easy 8 3 Mark, called it Furious, because, well, quite frankly, I already have the Fury. And here we are, we're on D-Day, we are completely bottom tier. Okay, now with the Easy, like I said, with the Shermans, actually, is the Tier 5 and the Tier 6s, their 76s all have the same penetration. The Tier 6s, of course, get a little more accurately, but again, as I have already said, it's not that accurate to begin with. So it's just basically look in the direction, auto aim, and slam shell. So you get basically the same pen as you did at Tier 5. and it's nothing really to write home about. But I mean, the rate of fire on the Easy 8s is, they got really good DPM. There's one of the highest DPM is the Shermans. Everyone raves about the Cromwell. Well, Cromwell doesn't have 12 degrees of gun depression and a high rate of fire. Cromwell gets to be a little more accurate and has a bit more pen. So I'm pulling about a 2.9, which is, I could still get it a little bit lower with a few other equipment. So I'm just going to move up to the, okay. So, I mean, a big thing with D-Day, you want to try and control this area here best you can. If you can control this, you can start influencing all this here and be able to swing around. Now, because of the good gun depression I have here, I'm still not convinced it's at its max. I can actually go ahead and depress the gun just enough to get clear of the top of the hills here and stay far enough away from them so I'm not going to be lit by people on the other side. Okay, now, the distance between this rock and this rock is about as close as you get to being more or less auto-spotted through the bushes by just about everyone. If you're a little more back here, which is probably why the Stutzfawn sits there, it tends to be just far enough away not to be lit from the bushes. So, where I'm at, I'm reasonably certain I'm not going to be lit. Now, because of the rock, I gotta try to find some area to get my gun into use. Now, also because other campers like to be out here and here as the scouts are moving around. If you pull back too far, you'll light yourself up behind the rock. Got my scout doing the scout thing. Artie's hammering the correct people so far. I'm trying to find a shot on the 85 over there, but he's behind the rock, so I'm going to try and move around, and I'm not really expecting to pen, but if I go ahead and keep him tracked, and now I initially started loading the HE right there, because if I could just keep him tracked, I could whittle him down a little bit with the HE. It will probably be ever so slight, but it'll at least give my allies a chance to start being able to work him over a little more. But he goes in and backs off, so we'll just go ahead and reload the AP again. We didn't quite have enough pen to blow his track off, so he was able to get the first one back on. Oh, it's not pen, it's damage. Damage is wrong. Backed up a little too far, and as you see, the enemy scout was moving around back there, so I fully expect I stuck my butt out there too far. Okay, now we're actually in a bit of a predicament right here. Ultimately, we got a tier 5. Oh, yeah. It says tier 6, but it's tier 5. We got tier 6. We have me, tier 6, and then we got Stutzfawn over there, also tier 6. There's been a little bit of already support. Then we got, scouts are just more or less could be written off. They got the IS-3, there's an E50M, not E50, the T-34-85M. And then we have the normal T-34-85 and plus any other trolls that want to be hanging back there. So if that IS-3 decides he wants to push up, and my scouts took a look at, saw an IS-3, and at least the Crusader is thinking a little better of it. My ally is trying to face off with the IS-3, and I honestly don't understand why. So I'm basically thinking of running away, but the Stutzfawn's running in. Okay. I did take a... Let's just go ahead and stop. I did go ahead and kind of take a look at what it was seen moving around, okay? It was ultimately only 3 tanks, so it's not the end of the world just yet. And they're starting to push around the east side over there. They're not really pushing up through the center here. And if I could get one of the scouts to go up over and start confirming, we can start taking up some territory. And there goes the go ELC. I know you're looking for it. Try and keep an eye out, look out for my platoon, but ELC dives right in. He's doing exactly what I need. Basically confirm who's on the other side. Who's looking. No one? Just dive in with him. one bad idea deserves another. Okay, now because it's the the 85M, we're going to go ahead and load the gold so I can make sure I pin them every which way. I'm just going to start using my vertical stabilizer. Hold down best I can, and while they're staring off at nothing, just start ripping them apart. Okay, Stritzlon's doing some good work, keeping the IS-3 distracted. We got a AC-4 over here, trying to find a shot. He's a bit hold down, so he was nice and decided to move out of there. And we'll just do a similar thing we did to the 85M. Auto-aim him, since we can more or less pin him anywhere. And just keep dancing around while he stares at us. And he's feeling the full force of our DPM right now. Poor guy. There we go. This guy's rolling around, and we'll just snap a shot off at him. And that's just some of the shots. These idiots just want to pull off. It's just what it does. It makes no sense. It's borderline on bullshit. But that's just what it does. We'll just aim in the general direction and watch the shot fly true. See he's diving in. I'm going to try and make sure this guy goes away. Once again, just aim in his general direction. Okay, now we're going to turn around. We're loading the gold because we got to get through the IS-3, and we're just going to go blasting as we move in. Like before, we just got to aim more or less in the general direction. It flies fairly true. I auto aim it, and boom. We can go right through its side with the gold pretty easily. So we're able to go ahead and snag the kill, but we still got more work to do. Come up, over, use gun depression, start trying to find our next victim. Okay, I'm just going to pause. I mean, hopefully everyone's able to kind of see I am trying to go back to the armor piercing as much as possible. Now, the APCR is for the tough targets, be the top tiers, stuff I just know likes to troll me and wants to bounce my rounds just because they're fucking Soviet. They just want to troll my ass. So, but I keep going back to the armor piercing as much as possible. It's a very cheap round. You just keep throwing it in the general direction. It doesn't even matter if it hits, miss. Just keep advancing and keep throwing shit at the wall and watch how much sticks. So, like I said, I'll just keep going back to the armor piercing best I can, find the IS-2, we'll, of course, aim it in his general direction, we'll just start giving him the DPM. Because IS-2 likes to troll me every now and then. Load the APCR to make sure we're not bouncing off of any slightly thicker armor. I don't know why, but the IS-2 just likes to troll my poor little Easy 8. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think this guy was here, but we're going to do the same thing and just keep aiming in his general direction until we got a much more inviting target. So, we'll start aiming at this guy and just keep advancing on him. And we're not pinning every shot, but we're getting some pretty decent shots in. Okay, now they're just basically left on the beach and a Yuta is up top. My team's sweeping around, and let's go get some. Time to get some tier 8s, load the gold, because Super Persian can be a bit difficult. Unless he's just going to give me his entire damn side. And like I said, it's just the kind of shots the Easy 8 pulls off. It just aims in their general direction and watch shells fly true. I really didn't want to take that shot, but we already paid the price, so we paid the tax. Let's go get ours. And honestly, I thought we were just about done as soon as we get rid of this guy. I thought we were done. It's like, okay, victory spin. Yeah, there was still one already. Hardly matters. He's behind a dune. So, and it's over. Come on. And that is all she wrote for this one. But I mean, this is just kind of important. Make sure you go ahead and change out your equipment. If you suspect some of it may not be working, like I found with the vertical stabilizer on my Easy 8, just decided it wasn't working. Swap it out with the correct one. I don't expect Wargaming to patch this shit out before the patch to demount it all hits. So if you're suspecting something's just not quite right, go ahead and swap. You should try to swap it out whenever possible, or you can just believe whatever bullshit Wargaming tried to feed us. So, I mean, that's just my one advice this year is the Ace Tanker for the M4A3 Easy 8. 2,400 damage. We ended up with almost 400 spotting, 6 kills, so we gained a top gun. And we were bottom tier, but we more or less knew the point when we had to jump in. Knew the point I had to actually jump in and figure out how to work around some of the tier rates best I could, and more or less kill still like a pro. So I love it. I love this tank. It's so good. Minus 12 gun depression. Just unbelievable. DPM, just keep firing. Plus, it's one of the few tier 6s that actually does get the vertical stabilizer. So, the Shermans end up getting that. So they're more or less as accurate on the move as sitting still. So aim in the general direction and just let them rip. If you could pin the entire sides, auto aim them. But anyway, that's all I got for you. And I'll go ahead and catch you later.